Welcome to CivilNet. My guest today is Dr. Armen Der Kiureghian, the president of the American University of Armenia. Dr. Der Kiureghian, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Or actually, thank you for allowing us to come into your space, to your office here at the American University.
You're welcome.
So, you were one of the founding fathers of this institution, and it was established along with the Third Republic of Armenia. It was quite audacious, wasn't it, at the time?
Yes, in fact, the university opened its doors the same day that the parliament declared independence. Yes, the initial years were very difficult years. This was right after the earthquake. In fact, the idea came about because of the earthquake in 1988. And I remember when in the United States, there was a meeting of the regents of the University of California where they approved the affiliation and they agreed to participate in establishing the university. There was an interview with us, with a group of reporters, and they asked, is this the time to establish a university in a country which is breaking down and there's a war, there's an earthquake? And at that time my answer was, well, that instance in time when transitions happen, major changes happen, are the best times, opportune times to start something like this. And yes, it was a very difficult time. But fortunately, we were able to do it and sustain it, and it happened, and it grew, became a healthy university.
And it's really become sort of the leader in higher education in Armenia today. We're seeing that the percentage of students who are applying to the American universities is growing year by year, and now that especially that you have a bachelor's program, I think many parents are looking to the American University to set that example of quality higher education. And yet, 23 years, being one of the sort of, as I said, founding fathers of the concept and actually coming and setting it up. And 23 years later, you are now back as the president. How does that feel?
Well, I must say it's a special privilege for me to be in this position, to be able to lead the university. It's a very critical time, a crossroad for the university. We're at a new threshold. We're growing very fast because of the undergraduate. The past 2 years, we've added almost 600, more than 600 students. The number now is 1,200, total graduate and undergraduate. And in 2 years, we'll grow to 2,000. And as you mentioned, the number of applications this year grew by 50% compared to last year. And there's a lot of demand on us to add additional majors to both at graduate and undergraduate, particularly at the undergraduate level. We feel this. A lot of people from the government as well as just ordinary people are asking us to add additional majors, and we are thinking for it. It is a very critical time, as I said, in the life of the university, because we have to make decisions in which direction to go, how to grow, and we also need to solidify our organization as also our financial sustainability. And these are important tasks that a lot of them I have to work on. And so in terms of the university, in terms of the role of the president, these few years will be very critical years. I feel privileged to be in this position. It's a challenging job, but I must say it is very gratifying. Any moment I feel a bit stressed out, or sometimes if I have any questions in my mind, all I have to do is just walk in the hallways, see these young, energetic students, very eager to learn, very very happy. Our students are very happy within the university, at least when I see them. And all I have to do is just go out, see them, and it just changes.
Reinvigorates you to keep going.
Yes.
You know, some of the more attractive elements, if we can call it that way, of the American University of Armenia is that it is UC affiliated, University of California affiliated, and it is credited in the United States. What are some of the other things that you would consider to be attractive, not only for students in Armenia, but perhaps students from the diaspora as well?
Well, this is an American university in the sense that we have adopted the American approach to education. The student-faculty-professor relationship is very open here. Our faculty are expected, and they do make themselves available to the students. The classroom teaching is not just give information, but it's more give and take, it's participation. Students are told to think independently, and they do. Every opportunity is given to students to express themselves either verbally or in writing, by writing essays. So there's a lot of opportunity for growth of students in terms of independent thinking, learning on their own. You know, our mission here is not to teach information, transfer information to students, but to teach students how to learn. We want them to be lifelong learners. And I think these are some of the characteristics that are different in this university compared to some other universities that have more traditional approaches or leftovers from the Soviet
era. But it is also accessible to everybody, I think, in the sense that while the tuition fees for Armenia might be high comparatively, they really aren't exorbitant. So it is an accessible institution for families who want their children to attend.
Well, the university very heavily subsidizes the tuition for, at least for local Armenian students, Armenian citizens, as well as, for example, Syrian Armenians. We consider them as the same as Armenian citizens, as well as those who have 10-year visas. They also have the same tuition. In addition, we have a rather extensive financial aid program, need-based financial aid. In fact, we have what we call need-blind admission process. That is, we accept applications, and we also accept applications for financial aid, and we keep them separate. Once we have decided on admitting a student, then we look and see how much that student, whether the student has applied for financial aid, and if so, what is the level of need they can justify. And then we provide need somewhere between 25% all the way to 90% of the tuition, even the modest tuition that we have. And we do insist that they pay at least 10%, because we think it brings in a feeling of responsibility.
Absolutely.
But even on occasion when the student cannot even do that 10%, then we give a loan to the student. And it's really good to know that the loans that we've given, almost 100%, we get them back once the student has graduated, is working, then they pay back.
It's incredible. Talk to me, if you will, about campus life, about the community of the American University. You know, I'm certainly not an expert, and I don't know how in the Soviet times university life was, or campus life was. So outside of the faculty and the students, is there a community around the American University today that supports or takes part in the programs that you have?
First, our students, their campus life, of course, is not only the classes and learning. They have a number of clubs. Soon they will have they will stage a play, Christmas time play. They have chess club. There are various clubs. I wish we had an extensive sport facilities like football field, and we don't right now. Yeah, we don't have those. We have a gym. But we rent facilities elsewhere where our students, of course, they have to have physical education, so we have other places that we have rented students use. So the student life is not only restricted to classes, and we have many events, lectures, seminars. These are open to our students, staff, faculty, and of course for the general public. By policy, we normally have our events open to the public. In fact, other facilities, for example, our library is open to the general public. In fact, the clients, the patrons in the library, vast majority are from outside. We have 13,000 patrons, and we have only 1,200 students. You may have heard recently Armen Der Kiureghian donated the collection of his books.
Right, so they're here.
They're here. I want you to show that collection. Well, not all of his books have arrived. There are several boxes. This whole shelf are his books. And there is his biography.
I see.
We wanted our students to know who has read these books, who has donated these books. And then we have a second important collection I want to show you. These two shelves here are a collection of books by Professor Richard Hovanessian of UCLA. Some of these are his own books, but the rest are the books that he has collected over the years and recently he donated. Probably we are the best English language library in the region.
In the region. Because I think you are the only American university in the region as well, yes?
We are the only American university in the former Soviet Republic, at least the only one that is accredited. The other segment is, of course, our alumni. We have now more than 2,500 alumni, mostly from our graduate programs. We haven't graduated any at the bachelor's level. And when we do, then, of course, the number of our graduates will rapidly rise. And I must say, vast majority, more than 71% of our alumni are working and living in Armenia. And many of them are highly successful. And we keep them engaged in the university. They certainly are a support group. I'm very happy to say that last year and this year, graduates got together and established a alumni scholarship endowment.
No kidding.
Coming year, starting next year, there will be one or more students who will receive financial aid scholarships thanks to our alumni. So we engage them in our programs, and they are often here talking to our students, mentoring. Sometimes they are employers who employ our students, our interns, our students go for internship.
Very good. An important component of a university is its research, development. Again, compared to state universities or other universities in Armenia, how does AUA differ in that respect?
Again, research, the parallel between teaching, learning, and research is a unique thing in American universities, that research is done in universities in the United States, as you know, not in separate institutes away from the university. So we are very keen on having that parallel activities of teaching and research at the same time in our university. And so we have established centers, research centers. There are several of them, 7 So in addition, we have these are affiliated with different programs. In addition, we have the Akopian Center for the Environment that has a lot of research related to the environment. Some of our research centers are quite active. For example, the Engineering Research Center has projects with a number of organizations. Samsung Corporation for a number of years has been supporting Volkswagen Foundation. Tempus has a number of research projects there, one related to remote laboratories, remote testing. Our Public Health Center for Health Sciences and Research, CHSR, is very active in a variety of topics: tuberculosis, smoking or control of smoking, a number of other topics, nursing, the status of nursing in Armenia. And I must say many of our faculty are publishing in international journals. We're very proud of this, and whenever it happens, we acknowledge and announce that. I must say, however, that we do not yet have a PhD program.
And is that in sort of the long-term vision?
Certainly. It is in the long-term vision of the university. But once we are ready for that, I think you will see the quantity and the quality of research done in the university will grow tremendously, because you really need PhD programs to do very in-depth, very basic, fundamental research. So this is something that is in the vision, and hopefully will happen sooner than later.
Well, Dr. Der Kiureghian, from very sort of, as I said, audacious ideas to implementing them, to now being a very solid part of Armenia's education system in Armenia, and being at the helm of that. So thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us and about the programs and about the future plans of the American University of Armenia.
Thank you very much.
And I'd like to remind our viewers that my guest was Dr. Armen Der Kiureghian, the president of the American University of Armenia. Stay with CivilNet.